So fine, you can be happy. That first 2.5 minutes will be cut because you can be happy, dickhead. Hey,
why don't we introduce our guest, shall we?
Well, before we introduce the guest, that guy, I do want to go over something from last week. So I put a poll on the episode on Spotify of who had the better top 5 list of smut novels. Thank you, Kelly, by the way. Did she rate? You're on mute, dumbass.
Yep. I'm pretty dumb. I'm gonna be real honest with you. I totally dropped the ball on that and forgot. Hold on, let me call her.
And again, you call me bum ass guy, and you're yeah.
Kelly, come here.
He acted like he was going to pick up the phone and call her. I'm going to call her.
Honestly, that's what I would have done. Call her from the other room. But
continue talking.
Well, what I was going to say is the audience on Spotify, in a landslide, 75-25, gave me the win for the better smut novel. Top 5.
Am I rating based on
your rating?
My enjoyment of them, or just the smut in general?
You're rating on your enjoyment. She's as you can see, all of the books behind me. It's actually amazing. How many books have you read this year so far?
12.
She's read. She's about to. She has 12 books, almost finished 13. It looks like there's some wood over there, Colby. I know. It's February 8th.
I don't think I've read 12 books in the last 12 years.
What was your order?
Facts. All right, I gotta take this hoodie off and talk. Maybe I'll leave it on. Had an F-45 shirt on. I'm like,
How's that going, by the way?
Dude, Gallatin's rocking, man. We're doing great.
Nice.
I mean, we don't have 250 like Clinton had at one point in time, but we're trending towards 200 members. So average class size 15. It's great. Fantastic.
Okay, thank you.
All right, what did she say?
You won. I lost. I suck.
Yeah. Again, you call me bum ass, and you can't even.
I suck at lots of things. And Colby, I almost had 350, 380 at one point. So put respect on my name.
I just don't. I don't understand how that even happens. That's impressive.
I can tell you, and there's a good reason, but I won't say over this. And it's not anything groundbreaking, but I just don't want to.
It's fair.
Well, I'm curious.
Yeah. Well, I'll say it after we're done recording, idiot. That was so mean.
We'll forget all about it
more
by
fun.
then, so
anyway, all right.
By then,
so Andy won the smut thing. Introduce Colby.
Moral of the story is Q sucks. I'm the king. Here we go. We have with us tonight, this week, what is February 9th, 2024, an up-and-coming professional wrestler, fitness professional, fellow member of the GDG, the Good Dad Gang, Colby Cowan.
Wow. That was a really good introduction.
I mean, that's pretty good. I was thinking, hey, this is our buddy, Colby. That's what I was thinking I was getting. So thank you, Andy. I appreciate that. Didn't say much, but thank you, Andy. I appreciate it.
Like I said, Q sucks. I'm here to pick up the slack where we're
disclaimer,
at.
Colby is a good buddy. He was actually in my wedding. So he probably regrets that. But
yeah, disclaimer, Colby and Q go way back. Colby and I have known each other for about 4 years.
Way back.
Yeah, way back, man. We're little things running around. But yeah, pro wrestler, fitness professional, aspiring, climbing up the wrestling ranks, which we'll get into in a minute. But I wanted to first start off by telling all you nerds out there to, again, go to getrawnutrition.com. Since we're talking about fitness, we're talking about wrestling. GetRawNutrition.com, code SanePod saves you 10% on your order. Protein, pre-workout, apparel. If you don't use it, you need to, because you're probably not as strong and as good looking as you want to be. So go there right now. Anyway, Colby, tell us about the professional wrestling start. We'll get into the fitness stuff later, but let's talk about the wrestling. So why wrestling? How did it start? Also, how's Kawhi? How's Heather? Please give them my best.
I'll start. The most important thing, right? Heather and Kawhi are great. We just booked another Disney trip for spring break, so that's exciting. I'm going to be broke next month. That's okay.
Yeah.
But they're great. Kawhi's 13 now, so he'll be in high school next year, which is unbelievable. I feel really old saying that. Dude, I know, right? It's unbelievable. He is wearing a size 13 shoe.
Does he still chop?
All day. Doesn't matter. So for Christmas, we bought him it's like a little circular basketball hoop that goes in a big circle on the floor, and you shoot it. It's got 2 balls in it, and you shoot in it, and you get points as the timer runs out and all that. It's the only thing we do. He won't even cut it on. He'll just stay on the floor. You know how he does. Shoot. My buddy, cut it on so we can at least have some fun here. Just wants to shoot. But they're good. He just moved middle school, so he's at Liberty Creek Middle School down the road from us, and Heather just transferred over there also. So they're both in the same school again. They've been in the same school, or at least close enough, across a bridge or whatever. So, but they're great, man. They're great. So cannot complain. No complaints there. His health's really good now. So fingers crossed it stays that way. The wrestling stuff, man, I watched wrestling like I think most of us did. Like we were little kids, you grow up watching The Rock, Stone Cold, all those guys. Yes, I'm still avidly into it. Obviously, I kind of have to be now. It's part of the job watching game film now, But it's something I always wanted to do. And one day I was at work and got invited to like a local promotion that's based out of Florida. They were having some shows in Nashville that were kind of small. So I went and wound up becoming friends with the owner of the company, at least just checking in with him. And they held a seminar by a guy named QT Marshall, and it was for all levels, right? And I'm thinking, man, I'm not getting any younger. I think I want to go try. I'm tired of sitting back and thinking, I should have done that, or why did I not go do that? And after a while, it just ate at me. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pay $100. I'm gonna go to the seminar. I'm the only one there. When I get there, I'm the only one there that's never been in the ring before. So who here has wrestled for over 4 years? Everyone's got their hands up. Who's never been in a ring? I'm the only one with my hand up. I was like, oh no, what have I done? I'm royally screwed. So QT pulls me aside. We get a lot of one-on-one time. They start doing these 5-minute matches. Again, I have no idea. I've watched it. How in the world did I even put this match together? I don't even know how to run the ropes yet. You know what I mean? So he pulls me aside. We get a lot of one-on-one time with him. They all do their matches. And I asked him, I was like, hey, man, is there a way I could sit next to you? Because I wanted to pick his brain. I mean, that's the guy like I'm trying to learn from anyway. If I can't get critiques from being in the ring, at least I can watch it and maybe utilize some of the information and knowledge that he's given for free here, basically. So I picked his brain, and by the end of it, he was like, man, why aren't you doing this? I said, first off, there's not a school around. The only school was up in Clarksville that closed because of COVID. So like, there's nothing around to even go do this for. I even looked, and there's a school in Knoxville. I even looked at maybe transferring to that F45 in Knoxville, working Monday through Friday out there, and then coming back home for the weekends. And like, obviously it's just not feasible when you have a wife and a son that needs, and it's like, it's very selfish of me. I don't want to be selfish with it. Right. So I backed off a little bit. And he said, man, they're opening a school. Tom Latimer and Jerry Lynn are opening a school in Nashville. I don't know where. Reach out to them. You need to go. So for me, it was like the first like positive affirmation that like, maybe I could do this. This guy sees something in me that I don't see, So I reached out to Tom Latimer, who's my right-hand man now. He's my coach that taught me everything I know. Reach out to him. Good thing about social media, he's one message away. You know what I mean? We don't know each other at all. One DM on Instagram, and I'm already getting information about the school. So yeah, it's not going to be in Nashville. We're actually opening it in Hendersonville. And I said, I live in Hendersonville. She's like, no way. So long story short, it just kind of seemed like one thing led to another. The school's in Hendersonville. It's right down the road. The nights they were having classes were the nights that I didn't work the evening. So like, it just, one thing led to another. And then, a month in, they're like, hey, you're the guy. Like, you're going to be the guy. You just have to not get your head too big to fit in the door. But you have to just keep working at it because it's not easy. There's so many intricate things that like I never even noticed, even watching for years. But yeah, just one thing led to another. And then started thinking around like, hey man, I think I'm ready for a match, but I'm not sure yet. And Tom kept telling me, reach out, stop waiting. You're never going to be ready, right? It's like when you get married, you're never going to be ready. You think you are having kids. I'm ready. And then you have it like, oh my God. So that's a very scary first jump for me, and I got booked by CCW, by Nelio, the owner of the company, which was the small show I had gone to. I got booked by them, and we're just climbing up the ladder ever since, man. It sounds very cliche, but it's one of those, like, I felt like I was supposed to do it. Everything kind of fell in line that I never thought it would. You know what I mean? And again, it's very cliche to say that, but
no, because I was there. Well,
yeah.
You know what I mean? I was kind of there, and you were telling me as this was happening, I feel like, and it did, like, even for me, I was like, man, you got to do it. You got to do it. Just like the fact that it was going to be in Hendersonville, out of all the places, especially when Nashville's growing like that, you're like, you got to go, man. Like, there's no way you could pass that up. So that's pretty cool. I was going to say, it reminded me to ask you about why everyone's mad at the WWE right now. I don't know anything about it.
I don't think. Let's just say this: go down a rabbit hole and Google Vince McMahon, and you'll see why.
No. I know that one. I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm talking about like The Rock and something.
Like
the
gist of what I got from that, and Colby, you chime in if I'm wrong, but the gist of what I got from that. So he got promoted to this like global what the fuck, whatever his position is, global something for TKO, the brand that bought WWE and UFC. So he's on the board for them, and he's like their global face. The gist of what I get from it, from going down Reddit subreddits, rabbit holes, is that they brought him in to save face right now with all the other shit that's going on. And that pissed off a lot of people because of like what happened with Cody Rhodes last week. Am I wrong in that, Colby?
No, I mean, there's definitely a lot of truth.
I mean, there's probably more.
They're trying to save face from the whole Vince stuff for sure.
Yeah.
And like Andy was saying, like, so last year Cody Rhodes faces Roman Reigns WrestleMania. Everyone thinks this is his moment. Talks about his dad never won this title. Roman's held it for 2 years. Like, it's gonna happen. Well, then Cody loses, and you're like, oh my God, what now? Outrage immediately from the fans because no, Cody's supposed to win this match. Well, then here we are a year later. Cody wins the Rumble. So that means he gets to pick. He main events WrestleMania, gets to pick who he wants to face. So he's obviously going to face Roman. Like, he's finally going to finish his story they keep talking about. Like, it's finally going to happen. And then one night, The Rock freaking shows up. And it's like, oh, it just deflates everyone, Like, we love The Rock. He's the freaking Rock. Dwayne Johnson. Fitness, clothing, wrestling. We love him for everything. Tequila, right? We love him for everything. And then he shows up and it's like, no, like, this guy is supposed to do it, not you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he kind of pushed, or maybe he didn't. Someone did. He kind of pushed that guy that's supposed to have like this big, like, coming out story, so to speak, or maybe superstar.
Like, well, Cody Rhodes is a third generation guy, I think, right? And I mean, his dad, Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, like, that's one of the biggest names in professional wrestling.
Oh, I never.
And I want to say his cousin is Goldust, right?
His brother.
Brother. That's right. Okay, yeah.
His brother's
so like
Goldust.
That family has been. I mean, they are like WWE, like the Mayavias and the Ortons, like that's there's like a bloodline. So it's like the real intimate fandom of WWE and of professional wrestling has seen Cody Rhodes keep ascending, and he's also regarded as a hell of a locker room guy too. Like, people love him.
Yeah.
So like they wanted that final culmination and climax, and then again, like Colby said, like, you can't really hate The Rock. Like, yeah, he has his heel thing and whatever, but you can't really hate him. And I think it was just poor timing for the story of Cody Rhodes, not for like WWE and The Rock, because it's good timing to save from what Vince is doing. But I don't know. I talk about wrestling every day at work because all my colleagues are wrestling fans too. So it's like we're all like, man, what's gonna happen? Like, did you watch Monday? Are you watching Friday? This stuff. And I think it's more just like, if you really are a fan of the story of Cody Rhodes of WWE, you're kind of like, oh damn it, like bad timing. It's just bad timing. But it's like,
because
what do
you watch movies, for the story, right? I don't care who's acting in it, but like I mainly care about the story more than anything, and that's what we're doing here. And now, The Rock has kind of skipped line, right, to cut Cody off here. Well, I don't know if you saw, they had the press conference right before we got on here, and they're all there, and Cody turned and picked Roman anyway. So now you're like, well, what does The Rock do now? So now you have like so I think they knew what they were doing. Obviously, it's a long-term storytelling here. I think they knew what they were doing. They were getting here we are talking about wrestling. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everyone's talking about it. So like they know what they're doing.
That's what I'm saying, because I don't hear anything about wrestling. And then I listen to MMA podcasts, and all of a sudden they're even talking about it. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. So,
it's more so because of the nature of the bad thing that happened, like not necessarily bring like the story of the wrestling, like where it's at in the timeline. Because like, I mean, I was just over at my parents' house on my way home tonight, stopped by and grabbed some pizza. Shout out mom and dad, thank you. And
shout out pizza.
Hey man, yeah, shout out pizza. Facts. Big facts. But shit, where was I going with this? Oh, we were immediately talking about like, you know, the storyline of like what's gonna happen this week, next week. Like, you know, what do we think Cody's gonna do to now like get his shot back? Is it gonna be a triple threat match? Like, kind of playing all these scenarios. Same thing when you watch like a Marvel Comics MCU movie. Okay, well you see Infinity War. Well, how's Endgame gonna play out? What's gonna happen? Who's gonna come back? Who's gonna win this? Who's gonna win that? And that's always been an appeal of wrestling to me. So that kind of bridges me into my next thing I wanted to ask you, Colby, was like, also, I wanted to have like a promo battle against you, and I totally fucked up and forgot to even think of one. I could probably wing one on the fly, but we'll do that in a minute. The storytelling of wrestling, like I pay attention to what you're doing on social media. Like I'm gonna support, right? I watched the night you were on AEW. My parents did too.
Appreciate that. That was a big moment for me.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I literally like showed my mom the picture that you had on Instagram. I was like, yeah, I know this guy. Like that's a buddy of mine.
Can I interject real fast? I think there is a portion during your walkout or something, but I think you were yelling, "This is my shit," or something like that, or "This is my."
Yeah. When I think that might have been my first match.
Yeah, I think so. And I just want to say, I got freaking hyped. I was like, this seems like this seems real. Dude, like you probably were feeling that, honestly.
Dude, it was so loud in that small venue, man. Like but it was that small venue that we were in for that first show was so loud. I mean, I couldn't hear myself think.
It looked packed, and you told me that that specific show sold a lot and really well. So before Andy asks a question, real fast, can you? And I know the answer to this, but sorry, Andy. Can plug when your next show is and when you're
please do that.
Yeah. So I have 2 shows coming up. Next Friday, I'm wrestling at the Texas Troubadour Theater in Nashville for CCW. I'm wrestling Toby Farley, who's kind of known around Nashville, Tennessee area. And then 2 days later, I'm wrestling at the FXC show, which is the school that I went to. We're having shows at Bluegrass Country Club that's in Hendersonville. We set up a ring there, and the last show, both of those shows, last time we had them, they both sold out. So I've been.
Is that right next to the church?
Yes, it's right across the street.
No kidding. Okay, that's
funny. So like for me, it's right, and it's right down the road, for me. So it's fantastic.
Yeah, you're just like, I'm gonna get up and eat breakfast and then go or whatever.
That's pretty much, yeah. But
hey, shout out to my
really good to me. Ooh, yeah, shout out to the Hendersonville people. Don't forget us people, man.
Man, Hendersonville is great. I loved coming down there.
I still love Hendersonville. I'll be in Nashville this year at some point. But anyway, CW. I'm like a squirrel right now, guys.
Hey, did you have a Ghost energy drink before you got on?
He's good. He's good.
I love this guy. Yeah, see? Ghost Energy, by the way. I'm gonna just quick rant before I ask you something. Friends, family, loyal supporters, nerds, everybody out there. Q took his headphones off because he doesn't want to listen because he's a wiener. But I'm going to just say this right now. If someone asks you very politely and tells you that you have a great product and asks you to help spread the word about said product, just answer. So I want to just say that Ghost Energy has become a really good friend of mine. This is the cherry limeade flavor today that I have. I drank one earlier today and I felt great. I was not a ghost. I was walking around at my work like everybody could see me. I had a bunch of energy. It was great. Ghost Energy on Instagram. I'm not sponsored by them yet, but Ghost, these legs are open. I'm here.
Dude, pause. Chill out. Come on, guys. Anyway.
That's going to be the selling point. That line right there. They're in now.
They're out. They're exact opposite. They're like, no, I'm not. I don't know who this
Are
guy
they?
is.
Are they? Are they?
I don't know.
Or are you
anyway,
just,
back to Colby, our guest.
Are you afraid of good things?
No, I'm afraid. No.
Hey, these legs are open. Could be one of those books back there. I'm just saying that.
Dude, chill out.
Probably. Anyway, back to the wrestling. So going from CCW to AEW, which for any listeners out there that are not in the wrestling space, AEW is, I mean, you could arguably say it's right there with WWE in terms of popularity. I personally think in the last few years they've done exponentially better in terms of their business and in terms of their growth. So what was the biggest thing, other than obviously the size of the crowd, but like what was the biggest thing you noticed from your night on AEW to the shows that you do with CCW more consistently?
I mean, obviously the production value is just crazy, right? Like the CCW production is pretty good. We have a lot of cameramen that are floating around the ring. Entrance is set up. The ring's always good. The lights are great. But I mean, dude, you walk out on that entrance and I mean, it's huge. And you have these two huge video screens on each side of you. And then obviously, like you mentioned, the fans, like, so I'm in the middle. I went from the Texas Troubadour, it probably fits a couple hundred people. I don't know. You could probably fit 400 in there. To Bridgestone Arena, it fits a couple thousand, right? So walking out there in front of your underwear is not comfortable at first. You know what I mean? Like the ring gears, doesn't hide a whole lot. You know what I mean? But to be out there and like look around, and because they preloaded us because we were just extra talent for that night, right? It was kind of like, here, I'm going to dip your toes in the water. Sometimes you get a match. It's kind of like a tryout for you, because they first see you. Hey, who is that? Who is that guy? He looked good. How is he in the ring? Then it starts snowballing from there, hopefully. But I mean, just like I said, the production value, and there's 10,000 people backstage at these shows, man. Like everybody has a certain job. You might have 10 people doing one job. You know what I mean? It's just, the production is just insane. And they set up, once a week, twice a week, all over the place.
I know the question that Q's going to ask. Do you have an oil boy?
No, Q's muted. I don't know if he realizes this, but I do not.
What?
No, I refuse to wear it. No way.
Really?
Why would I ask that?
Because I could see you pondering over there.
I'm so out of my realm of expertise. I have no idea what's going on.
No,
I just know that it looked cool, and not many people get to walk out in front of screaming fans, and I would have lost my mind. I would have done some, I don't know what I would have ran through drywall.
Yeah,
dude. So they tell me backstage, hey man, we're probably going to use you for like a security spot or whatever, kind of not on TV, nothing like that. Of course, all my friends know that I'm backstage. So they're asking, hey man, you going to get a match? Like, dude, that is like getting a match with them is like a serious tryout. You don't show up at Titans practice in your uniform. Like, hey guy, come out here and run some routes. That just doesn't happen. So you have to put in all the work, the film and all that to even get to that spot. And for me to get there, I was very thankful that I know Jerry Lynn, who helped open the school that I went to. So that was kind of one of my, foot in the door, so to speak. But I told my wife when I got out there, because I didn't tell anyone. I didn't want anyone. When they told me, it was like 30 minutes before the show started. And I was like, man, I could text all my buddies right now and tell them that I'm going out there, or I could just wait and surprise them, right? So I told them all. I was like, hey, there's a tag match that's coming on, and you guys need to be seated to watch it because the very beginning of it is nuts. It's right after this match. Didn't tell anyone. So we walk out there, and I hear a couple people from the school that were sitting close. Some random kid yells at me that went to one of the local shows, Colby Carter. That's what I hear. And I'm standing in that ring looking around, and my wife asked me, like, how did that feel? And I told her, again, another cliche thing, like, I felt like I was supposed to be there. I didn't feel like I wasn't scared. I wasn't nervous. I was a nervous wreck hours before. I couldn't even talk hardly, you know? But like, once I got out there, it was like, just a calm came over me. Like, man, this is awesome. This is what I want to do. This is really cool.
Yeah.
And then obviously, like, it was over like that, it seemed like. And then I was like, man, like, but now I'm hungry for it even more. You know what I mean? Like, I got that little sample of it. Now, like, I want to have a match. I want to be on TV. Like, I want to travel and all that stuff now. So that was.
Yes. And
realistically, how far is it? Again, I literally have no idea. So I know, like, in mixed martial art, there's regional scenes, and then there's the big couple scenes. But like, people will do regional scenes for years and years and years before they get picked up. Now, professional wrestling seems to be
AEW
much
has
more
pay-per-views. AEW
Right.
has like pay-per-views. Like, that's
So UFC obviously has pay-per-views, Bellator, all the big organizations that you know. I'm comparing this to what I know. They have like prelims, and they have early prelims, and those are still like, they're televised. Those are big time, and you're getting paid pretty well. How far is that? Like, how far is that away realistically, or is that like,
I mean,
something?
when I spoke with Jeff Jarrett, he kind of put it like wrestling is kind of like the
big
music
name in
business,
wrestling,
right?
by the way.
Jeff's a great guy. He lived Hendersonville guy.
Big
also.
big name in
Really?
wrestling, by the way. Yes.
Cool.
But he related it to, you know, the music world, where like Andy might have some of the best music I've ever heard, but no one else that has the connections that has heard it, right?
Right.
Meanwhile, you might have one hit that goes viral and he makes all this money on it. And now he's a name and Andy's not, but Andy's more talented. Sorry, Q. Just
We know that's true. It's okay.
I knew that was coming. Sorry. So it's really like putting the film together. And now with social media, you know, you could blast it out. I can tag every WWE, AEW exec that I can think of. Maybe they look at it, maybe they don't. I had one accidentally FaceTime me or Instagram call me because I had tagged them in it. And I was like, oh my God. So I'm answering. And then he hung up and was like, sorry, accidental call. I was like, dang it. But again, like, he's
no, I'm an accident.
How was my team?
I'm an accident here.
How was my
team?
team?
He at least saw it, right? So, you know, it's really just putting yourself out there, you know.
It's like other professional sports, though, right? And I've always, with Colby, I'm a dad, and I coach my kids' sports, and I always tell, when the question comes up about like playing professional sports, I always tell them, look, if you're good enough, especially in this day and age, people will find you. Yep. People will find you. They will see you. They will see something that somebody posts or that somebody says. So like, Q and I have talked a bunch about how social media has its pros and cons. For what you're trying to do, I think social media is great, because all you can do is put tape out. Like, the more and you know, if you keep doing, you know, tape and have hit after hit after hit, you keep winning. I mean, you have your international championship right now, right? So like, you keep winning and you keep ascending, like, someone's gonna call. And like, to Q, to put it in perspective for you, like what AEW is. So AEW, I'm gonna read off a few names, and these are big names that were WWE names for a long time. Bryan Danielson, Billy Gunn, Samoa Joe, Christian Cage. Is Brody King still there?
Yeah, Brody King, Brody Lee passed away. That's what you're talking about,
right?
But Brody King still
no,
there.
Brody King. Yeah, sorry, I was talking about Brody Lee. My bad.
Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho. Yeah, Sting.
Sting.
There's another one I'm missing. I know, and I can't think of it. But like, these are all very, very big names in professional wrestling. So it's like, and Jeff Jarrett, who Colby said he talked to, like, that is a gigantic name in the pro wrestling ranks. You know, so I'm looking at it.
It seems like.
Yeah. And
I mean, it's like everything else, right? It's all about who you know. Like, when I was backstage at AEW the first time, I bumped into QT Marshall, who works for AEW, or worked for AEW until January. So I'm talking to him backstage, and all the extras are like, how does he know QT? Jeff Jarrett walks up. I start talking to Jeff Jarrett. How does he know Jeff Jarrett? Well, then people start talking like, who's this kid that everyone knows back here? Like, who is this guy? Like, he looks good in his ring gear. Like, who is this guy? You know what I mean? And hopefully starts to snowball down,
Yep. Q, think about it like this too. When I asked you to come do the podcast with me and we were talking about like the guests and stuff, it's the same thing. You just have a conversation with somebody, reach out to them on Instagram. I'm not anybody special. Just
I guess I just
send a quick DM.
Well, I mean, you're definitely not special. We know that, but yeah, I just had no idea like how big, Colby's I feel bad in a sense because you're so jacked up and excited. And I'm like, dude, I'm excited for you, but I cannot for the life of me. I don't even know what you're saying to me now. You could just be like, I'm going to play soccer on Mars. I'd be like, sick, dude. Go do
dude,
that.
You should see, if you only knew the looks and the comments I get when I tell people, like, what do you got a fight on Friday? Are you like a UFC fighter? I'm like, no, I don't really want to get punched in the face. It happens, but I don't want to. I'm not going in there planning
expecting
on that to happen. Yeah.
Right.
And then they're like, why are you doing that? I get that all the time. Why are you doing that? And then when I showed up in AEW, they're like, oh my God. And it's like, man, you're really doing well with this. And I'm like, yeah. Don't be a fan now, man. But it's so don't feel bad. I get a lot of weird, snarky comments and looks. And you wear underwear. I mean,
it's entertainment. It's entertainment and it's
that's exactly
sport.
right.
I mean, it's really. I mean, obviously you have to be super athletic, and that I assume that's one of the reasons why you were a favorite at your camp, right? I mean, you're super athletic. I mean, there's not many people that can jump like you. I don't know how that happened, but I assume that's
still true to
right.
this day. It still doesn't make sense, but
it's crazy actually. It is really crazy. I remember the first time watching you, do a workout, and I'm like, this kid can jump, Lyndon. And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh,
Lyndon.
Oh boy.
Shout out Lyndon.
Where's he? What's he doing? Where is he at? I hope he's okay.
L-Dog, man. L-Dog loves the Chiefs. He's going to pop up on social media the next week.
Yeah.
So.
I forgot about that. I'm sad. I don't love the Chiefs. I'm really
Same.
Hey, but you know what the big news was today, Q?
What?
Brittany Mahomes is going to be in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue.
I'd rather know almost any other information ever. But thanks. Yeah.
I wonder what the lowest number of sold magazines is, because I think that's going to be it.
I thought Sports Illustrated went away.
They did.
So
definitely not the swimsuits.
Is it like, aha, gotcha?
That actually is hilarious. If that's the case, that's awesome. If they're like, just kidding, we're under.
Just kidding. We're still doing the swimsuits, guys.
I mean, I support that. Like, I'm with you.
Well, I do.
Yeah. I mean, so be it.
Q, go read a book.
I've read my share of books.
No, I mean, turn around and go read one of those books.
No, I'm not doing that. Not
read praise. Go read praise.
Leather-bound books.
That's a good movie. Normally I have tons of questions for people, but for you, I thought we were just going to chat. So
that's all we're doing.
Well, yeah, no shit. But I was
going to say. I got one.
All right, I was talking, but sure, go ahead.
Yeah. Shit. Now I forgot. Oh, when you first started the school, what was the hardest thing to learn? Was it the ropes? Was it the rolls? Was it the taking the hits? Like, what was the hardest thing for you to learn? I'm genuinely curious about that. Like you said, you are a good athlete. You're in really good shape.
He said nothing. That's what he about to say. He's like, I learned it all quick, son.
Joe, talk your shit. Do it.
No. I will say all the athletic stuff, all the athleticism, I should say, all that stuff was easy for me. Like, it was not difficult for me to learn. Yeah, is that a word? Athleticness?
You got it. You got it from Q. What's up, buddy?
Remember Q? And Andy? See you, buddy.
Hi, Kawhi.
Big shout out, Kawhi.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Hi, Heather.
My phone back. Okay, he's got my phone. Oh my gosh, go. If you're gonna listen to that, get out there. All the tough stuff like that, all the movements and stuff weren't very hard. The hardest thing for me was learning how to sell, how to act.
Mm-hmm.
So in selling, for Clinton that doesn't know this. Selling is whenever you're getting a move, you're getting punched, whatever, and you have to act like you're getting hit because hopefully you're not really getting punched. Yeah, it absolutely happens because you would have, let's say we're doing a universal spot. So universal spot, this is going to sound like a lot. So headlock, shoulder tackle, drop down, leapfrog, hip toss, body slam, arm drag. You would say all of that before you do it.
I'm with you.
Right then and there. So you'd have to follow that. So I would get him in a headlock, and the whole time I'm thinking, I'm thinking, what was next? What was next? So then I can't express myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was the hardest thing for me, was to be able to put a mask on and actually act, because I've never had to do that. I played football forever, so I've never had the problem of, I don't know if I can roll on my left side. I don't know if I can jump off the top rope. I don't know if I can jump over this guy, like stuff like that was easy. But it's like the psychology of wrestling. If I'm working a guy's leg and I'm beating up on his left leg and I go, why would I shoot him off to the ropes to the other side? He shouldn't be able to run because his leg's beat up, So like learning how to do little things like that, like, okay, I can't shoot him off to the ropes because his leg's hurting. I need to do something else instead, like little things like that don't seem like a big deal. You won't see a lot of that on the indie scene, which is like the smaller shows.
Mm-hmm.
But you get to WWE, AEW, like everyone notices that stuff.
There's
you were punching him in the back of the head and you're going to make him tap because you grabbed his ankle. Like, doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So everything has to make sense. And that was the hardest thing for me to get. It still is. I mean, I'm not great. I'm still working on all this craft. I don't think there's ever a time when you stop working on it. Same with fitness, right? We're constantly at the gym every day. It's not like I worked out for a month. I'm like, got it. Good. See ya.
I know how to do curls now. What's up?
You don't lift. Don't even start.
No, I'm very proud of myself. I've been since this surgery, I've been on it, but no big deal. I was going to say something. So your character or your mask that you put on, this is what I sense from the social media. You're a good guy.
Yes.
Okay, cool. You're not like
he's
not the heel.
Yeah, in wrestling, it's terms of face, and I'm like full baby face right now. So,
okay. So when I watched wrestling way back when, I hated Kurt Angle, and I don't know why.
Of course,
but was he supposed to be a bad guy?
Yeah, so he would be the heel. So it's just like we were talking about movies, right? You have your antagonist, your protagonist, right? It's the same thing.
Yeah,
it's superheroes, it's fighting, and it's storytelling. It's all in one.
Apparently that dude's like apparently that dude's like legit though. Like, was he a gold medalist wrestler?
He won, the '96 Olympics
with a fractured neck,
broken freaking neck, as he would say. Yes.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But
he's got actually horrible muscular atrophy in his arms because of his neck too.
Yeah.
Like really bad nerve damage.
His neck looks like this lamp.
Yeah, his neck's enormous.
Yeah, it looks awful. But he's a great guy. Like he could be a face or a heel. So some people gravitate one way or the other. Like when I'm in the ring, it's a fight. So like I naturally gravitate to being a heel because I'm not punching a guy. They mean like, yes, I got him. You know what I mean? It's like I punched him. Yeah, screw you, guy.
You're not like, Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool.
No,
that's the best way I can put it.
He's like your anti-hero, right?
Anti-hero.
It's kind of what I fall into. Like a friend of mine messaged me after that match, the clip that you're talking about, where I'm like yelling at him, like, this is my city, this is my shit. He was like my villainous hero. Is what he said, and it's pretty spot on because I'm not your old hunky dory, Mr. No, not Homelander or anything, but
I hope not.
There's a funny, a fun story of back to talking about the selling that Colby was talking about. If you listen to, and I'm not a big Joe Rogan podcast fan, but Hulk Hogan was on there, and he was talking about how. Did you? So you heard the part when he was talking about working with Stallone, and they were doing the scene where he was supposed to punch Stallone in the face.
Yeah,
and Stallone like wanted him to sell it as well, like hit him basically, and Hogan was like, "Dude, I'll kill you if I punch you as hard as I can." But Hogan actually gave him the tactic that the WWE and wrestling schools would tell him to tell Sly to sell the punch.
Right.
So like it was applicable for the movie, and I thought that was kind of a cool story because obviously Sly's no slouch to doing stunts and stuff, but he was able to even learn something from Hogan in that. Yeah.
Both of them.
That was a good episode, though. I like that one.
So when can when can we fight? I'm gonna fold you like a lawn chair, buddy.
This guy for years has been the same line.
I just say that
over and over again. I'm gonna fold you like a lawn chair.
Dude,
I'm gonna start you, son.
You'd get put in an atomic wedgie and tickled to death in the corner or some shit.
Listen, me and you, Andy.
All right. We could do that. It wouldn't be any fun, but we could do it.
Atomic wedgie. I haven't heard that in a long time. That's up and over, correct?
Yeah, up and over the back of the head. Yeah.
I wasn't like physically bullied. I was just verbally bullied. So whatever. Let's bring that on. I had red hair.
You know he used to melt down candy bars in bowls and eat them?
Yeah, I remember him telling me that.
Dude, that is.
Shout out Big L for that one too. Shout out Big L for that one.
Every time I told that story, he would be like, "Tell this person," and he would die laughing before I even got it out.
I'm pretty sure you told me that. You remember the day we went to get wings when I first came down to Hendersonville?
No, I don't. I don't remember anything. By the way, too many concussions.
I'm pretty sure you literally told me that at that lunch that we went out to eat.
Shout, you do now, dude. Put a couple Twix in the microwave and then crunch up the cookie part, and then eat it like soup or pudding. It's really good.
Dude, I have
I haven't done that. I haven't done exactly. I'm just too skinny now. I haven't done that in a minute. But,
there'd be days when I would come in after lunch and they would go to Sushi Train, and everyone's laying on the floor.
Dude, shout out Tim.
Laying in the floor, and I walk in and I'm like, "What are y'all doing?" And they wouldn't even like turn their head to ask. Their face down. Like,
we could.
Oh yeah, Sushi Train. Like, yes, guys.
Shout out
like
Tim Mann and what was Lennon's buddy's name? I've always heard his name, but he challenged me
Westy?
to a Westy. Yeah, that's right. He challenged me to
shout out Westy.
Westy's awesome, dude. I'm sorry I forgot your name, Westy. I forget lots of things, but
horrible person.
I'm a terrible person. But I was gonna say something. And I forgot.
Something about being challenged to eating or something.
No, I was
probably a number of sushi rolls or something stupid.
It was a number of plates, and we stacked them all the way up as high as we could. And I hid some. No, it was hilarious. I hid some next to me, so he thought he was like one-on-one with me. And then he was like, "I'm getting pretty full. Are you getting pretty full?" I was like, "Yeah, no." And then I just stacked the other ones on top of it. He was so mad. I think he paid for my meal and he gave me $50. So that was the bet.
Yeah. I mean,
anyway, enough about me and my eating escapades. Yeah, it's a good W. Good W. You want to hear something crazy too, Andy?
Yeah, hit me.
Lainey Wilson went to our studio for a while, and now she's like a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I know.
And that's kind of wild.
She just performed with Jelly Roll at the CMAs.
Well, she just won a Grammy. I'm pretty positive.
For best country album, I think too. I mean, that's
something crazy. It's wild,
big time, man. Yeah,
it is crazy. Anyway.
Yeah, so you with the wrestling, that's me with Lainey Wilson. My knowledge is like I saw her perform with Jelly Roll. That's it.
I don't know much about her. She was always very nice, and she came to our studio, and I don't know why I brought that up, but it was just random. But shout out Hendersonville. It's just all the people. Taylor Swift, and that's the extent of that list, I think. But whatever.
I mean,
that's a really good list. You should do that again.
That's number one.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty big list there, man. I mean,
that's the list. Well, should we talk about football real fast? Just because Colby's one of us.
Sure, go for it.
One of us. All right, who's going to win the Super Bowl?
I hate you so much sometimes. What,
dude?
Who's winning the Super Bowl?
I hope San Fran wins because I think they have all the weapons. I think Purdy has shut me up for 2 years now. I've talked nothing but trash on the kid. Especially even the
because he looks like Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah, Lyndon was the first one to point that out, by the way, to me. I think last year he said that. I was like, of course, big. Yes, right. Shout out Big L again. Yeah. Getting a lot of shout outs. Probably the most shout outs he's ever had in his life.
That's probably the most shout outs anyone's gotten on this podcast, to be honest.
Hey, shout out Ghost. So there it is. Boom. I hope San Fran wins because they have all the weapons. I love me some Christian McCaffrey. Dude does everything. I like Debo. Their defense is solid. But man, I'm a big advocate on betting on coaches and quarterbacks. And I'll probably Dude, I don't want to
that
see
makes
him
me
win.
sad.
I really don't.
I'm done betting against Mahomes, man.
I know it's so hard.
You can't do it. You just can't do it.
If look, he's the best thing on the planet right now in football, and it's not close.
But he sucks in the Super Bowl.
Unfortunately,
it's not close.
So my thing on him, the Taylor Swift stuff, don't care. No, it doesn't bother me. It's his
doesn't bother me.
Doesn't anymore.
Yeah, whatever. But the thing that bugs me, and it did the same with me, and I'm not a big golfing fan, but when Tiger was playing and Rory McIlroy came along, Tiger's still at the tip, maybe not the peak, but he's still tip top. And they said, "Oh, this guy's the next Tiger. This guy right here." Hey, brother, Tiger's still playing and Tiger's still dominating. I don't know why you're trying to anoint someone else. So when Mahomes came along, Brady's still playing, bro. Brady's still in the Super Bowl. Oh, and guess what? Brady's 2-0 against Mahomes in the playoffs, and he beat him in the Super Bowl. You know, and it's like, I know recency bias is a thing, but like, I just get tired of that comparison more than anything. Now, if he goes to, this will be what, 4 for him?
This is going to be 4 and 6, and if he wins it, it's 3.
So if he goes to 10 total Super Bowls, we'll talk. Because he's going to crush his numbers and touchdowns and all that stuff. But I mean, just the day and age football's in.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But like, dude, if you win 7 Super Bowls, then like, all right, then we'll talk. I think there's a big difference in going 3-1 opposed to 2-2 in the Super Bowl too. Because Brady was 7-3. That's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And
shout out Eli Manning and Big Dick Nick, by the way.
Dude, I remember I was so mad when they lost that perfect season because I wanted to see it so bad. And I'm a big Brady fan.
Hey,
so.
David Tyree was on this show. Helmet catch himself.
Yeah.
Right here. Look at that. I got it right there.
It was pretty crazy. Well, I hate to agree with everything Colby said because it adds nothing to this podcast, but I really do. It's like, it's hard. They have, like, on paper, you're like, San Francisco probably, you know, and then you're like, wait, they have the better coach and they have the better quarterback, you know, like they've been there before.
And here's the other thing.
Revenge game, hopefully, though.
Here's the other thing with that too. Last year, Jalen Hurts played a better game than Mahomes did, and they still lost.
Mahomes hasn't played fantastic in the Super Bowl. He's
been really damn good in these playoffs against 2 of the top 5 defenses in the league at their place.
Well, not the Bills. The Bills were decimated.
The Bills were 4 going into the playoffs.
They're decimated.
The Baltimore game, they were shut out the whole second half and still lost.
Yeah.
Nuts.
So,
and something to do, like, man, that needs to be investigated, by the way. Why did they run the ball 6 times with the running backs? Like, that doesn't make any sense. They have the number 1 rushing offense in the league.
The Bills do that. The Bills get away from the run, right? I mean, Josh Allen's like,
because Josh Allen,
you know.
Yeah, he runs around and he throws the ball.
Yeah, I get it, right? Well, like, I was talking to a buddy of mine before that game. He said, well, this is one thing that the Ravens will do that the Bills won't do. The Ravens will not get away from the run.
And they did.
The one thing they could not do, and they did it.
And it wasn't like the game was ever so far out of reach either. It's like that Zay Flowers fumble, that sucked. But it's still, the game was still there. Like,
his taunting penalty was worse than the fumble.
Well, his taunting penalty is the reason why the fumble happened, essentially, right? I mean, that sucks. But that penalty sucks too. It's like, let the guy DB the entire game can walk around doing the stupid seatbelt thing or this or whatever the sword thing is. But if receiver catches a ball, that's Kwani. Receiver catches the ball and spins it next to him. They're like, no, impossible.
Well, it's the same. It's the same thing as a bat flip in baseball and a pitcher pumping his fist after a strikeout. It's the same thing. The bat flip gets crucified. The pumping the fist is celebrated.
I look stupid.
You look ridiculous right now.
Good. Because if I was a corner, I would do that.
You know what you look. You know what you look like. You're so white. You look like a ghost,
dude. Okay, I'm leaving this podcast.
Shut up, ghost.
This is the last one.
Yeah, the ball's 30 yards overthrown, right?
Yeah. That's bad. That's bad.
See, in college, I play DB and receiver, and I have some things that both sides do. I'm like, stop doing that. Like.
I was a defensive end, so I was either like, I got you or I don't.
I was fat defensive end, so
hopefully neither one of you gave Chase Young energy there, efforts, I should say.
No. Man, I am so
that
out on
hurts
that
me to
guy.
say.
He might not play.
Dude, bad.
They might bench
Real
him.
bad. Yeah, saw that. I mean, can you imagine like your efforts so bad that they might bench you for the biggest game of your life?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And
it's
you're
like
playing for a contract.
He won
He's
rookie.
a free agent at the end of the season.
He won defensive rookie of the year, and after it, he was like, "I'm good. I think
Yeah,
I'm
now
done
he's
with football."
sucking
It's
butt
wild.
cheeks on the sidelines.
And that hurts me to say because freak of nature.
Well, yeah, an Ohio State guy.
Yeah.
Well, and you also have Bosa on the other side. Like, brother, he's making your job a lot easier, and you
way
still don't.
easier.
Dude, when he chased down the Lions, was it Gibbs that scored or James Williams that scored? And he's chasing him down, and he just gives this little number.
Yeah, it was James Williams.
That's another game that Lions should have won that game too.
Yeah, I wanted the Lions bad in that one.
Yeah, I really
I think the world. I think the world wanted for Eminem. I think the world wanted Detroit, Baltimore. I think we all did.
Oh, yeah, I think so. That would have been the craziest Super Bowl too. It would have been the most rowdy for a fact.
It probably would have been a pick 'em. I think.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know which way to look at this.
I guess Detroit's defense sucks, so maybe I would have picked Ravens.
They were so bad in the second half.
Should Colby? Should the Bears keep Justin Fields? What are we thinking?
Nah, you got to get rid of him, dude.
Think so?
I know that probably hurts you, and there's times when Fields looked really good.
Either way, it doesn't hurt me anymore.
But you don't want to pay that guy this year. You can't do that. Or is it next year when his contract?
You don't have to pay him.
You don't have to pay him this year. You can pay him next year.
He's under contract this year, and if you want to pick up his 5th year, you can. But you don't have to contract him for 2 years. Actually, 3, because you can franchise him after.
Yeah, but that 5th year contract, that's when that number jumps up big time, isn't it?
Right. But here's the issue I have
for
when people are talking about just financial reasons to not keep him. If you draft Caleb Williams, you're paying him more than you're paying Fields this year. So financial reasons should not even. Performance, fine, whatever. But
I just don't know if I like Caleb Williams' attitude. But
he's a whiny baby little bitch boy that I know. No, I don't.
Okay, all right. No. So he doesn't like him.
No.
What are we doing here?
You know what I would do to Caleb Williams?
I like Marvin Harrison. You would dunk on him?
Waistband right over the forehead, atomic wedgie.
Oh, I thought you were doing this for a second.
No, I'd put
him.
No, I'd put the Fruit of the Loom all up in his butt cheeks and wedgie.
Well, I like Marvin Harrison Jr., so that's the only reason I don't want to draft freaking Caleb Williams.
Well, I think, like the Drake May thing has been really popular, like with him going first and Jaden Daniels, and I just don't like
Jaden Daniels.
I don't think they make it.
I'm into Jaden Daniels.
I like him as a college quarterback. I just don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either.
Because at Arizona State, he was very okay. It wasn't the starter at LSU until now. Granted, you could say Joe Burrow transferred, didn't play at Ohio State, went there, was very okay, and then blew up. Now he's really good.
And
so whatever.
Pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, but I just don't think you want to pay Fields into hoping he turns into that quarterback that you want him to be. I think you got it, but you got to get something for him. I don't think you can just cut him. And somebody will send. I saw where talking on Twitter where I think it was if Caleb goes first, Washington drafts Harrison Jr. and then trades for Fields.
Yep.
Seems kind of crazy to me, like to put that out there.
Weird.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Well, I think that's Chicago just trying to pump up that trade value a little bit of
gamesmanship. I'm all for it.
Yeah, and I think Fields could be good, but I think it has to be the right situation for him.
And I don't know.
Flashes are like,
I mean, he makes plays that only one other quarterback can make in the NFL potentially. But it's like, man, it's like every play is a fire drill, and I kind of like it myself. It's like, I'm like holding my breath the whole time. But I mean, it makes it fun, and he does this thing every year or the last 2 years where he catches on fire the last part of the season. You're like, hey, can you stop and you just do the whole season, please? Thanks.
Right.
I mean, yeah, there is a lot of truth too, though, that he's been with some pretty incompetent play calling. But
no, absolutely.
And I will say this, like he's like the baseball equivalent of like a home run or a strikeout guy right now. And I think personally, and I would timestamp and whatever the fuck you want to talk about on this, that if he goes somewhere with the right coach, he will be an all-pro.
I mean, quarterback play, by the way, is so bad.
Yes.
In the NFL at the moment that it doesn't.
Aside from like
that
4 of them,
at all. Yeah, I mean, I think even Tua looks great, and all of a sudden he plays a game. I say Tua because it's Colby's guy, but then all of a sudden he plays a game. You're like, what is going on? Like, and I feel like that just happens so much in the NFL. Like Jalen Hurts the same way. I feel like
Jalen Hurts will play overrated,
but he's also hurt too, or he was. But anyway, what are the Dolphins going to do? What do they need to do, Colby? Your coach Colby.
You got to pay Tua. I think you have to. Guy, Pro Bowler, first Pro Bowl quarterback we've had since Dan Marino. Not that the Pro Bowl is really significant because it's like a fan vote now, right? But he led the NFL in passing yards, had really good numbers, stayed healthy all year, which is the most important thing. I know Hamlin's going to get comeback player of the year if he hasn't already. I know Tua got a comeback player of the year award.
It didn't get announced yet.
No. So I know he got an award from I think Sporting News or something like that. But I think you have to pay Tua, but they're in really big trouble with salary cap. They're like $40 million over right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not that the salary cap exists, as we found out from the Rams a few years ago. So right. I don't know, but you got to pay Tua. Christian Wilkins is up for a deal. You got to pay Christian Wilkins.
Got to pay that guy. So good.
And I think, and you got to get some more offensive linemen. They had so many injuries on defense for that Chiefs game. Dude, you call Justin Houston and Bruce Irvin off the street to play in a playoff game in Kansas City. Like we had, I think out of the 11 starters, I think we were down 8 or maybe 7 or 8 of them.
That's crazy.
And you're going into Kansas City, and defense played fine. The offense,
and it was snowing.
Didn't know what to do.
And
negative 30 degrees. Oh,
that's awful.
But it's just,
I don't want to.
And you saw where Fangio left. He's up to Philly now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which was really weird situation there. But I think Fangio, probably ironclad, iron fist kind of guy. McDaniel's total opposite. So I'm sure they didn't really see eye to eye on a lot of things.
Right.
But he wanted to go to Philly last year. Didn't go. Bad timing. Comes to Miami. And then all of a sudden they mutually part ways. And he winds up in Philly the next day. It's like, I think they said the NFL is going to look into tampering. I don't really care. Whatever. If he wants to go there, go there. I don't care. I don't know, but defense is solid. Defense is good, but you got to get some linemen. You got to pay Tua, and you have to get some receiver that's over 5'10" out there. I think that's where they really struggle. They had Cedric Wilson, who's relatively taller, was playing, but
what pick are they going to have? Something like 20.
It's 20 something. Yeah,
20 mid-20s.
Unless. Yeah. I can't remember. I can't remember if they have it. I think it was last year when they lost the first round pick. Maybe it's this year they don't have it.
I think this year they don't have it.
Yeah, I think that's because of the whole Tom Brady stuff.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, Sean Payton stuff. I thought that was last year, but it's probably this year.
So
it's frustrating as a Dolphins fan because you watch your offense just light everyone up all year round, with the exception of a few good defenses, right? But and then you just go to Kansas City and just drop a deuce right in the middle of the field. And they just talking about limping your way to the playoffs, man.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have your 2 pass rushers. I mean, no, it starts at the front. You can't have your 2 pass rushers not play.
They have 21.
They have 21.
They have 21. Okay, so they do have one. It was last year then. Okay.
Well, they're not gonna get a. That I guess I was trying to figure out if they're gonna draft one of those really good receivers, but that was.
I mean, there's 5 receivers projected to go in the first round. They're all really good. Malik Neighbors could fall to them, the LSU guy.
He's a stud.
Or Keon Coleman from Florida State. So it's
Keon Coleman's good, man. He killed Ohio State when he was at Michigan State.
I know.
The guy that I'm not going to say. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be one of the better receivers to ever play football. That's not. I don't even know if it's a hot take, but that's just how I feel. Especially if he can stay healthy. But Roma Dunze is a ball player, and I like that guy a lot. I like watching that guy a lot. I don't know if he's going to slip anywhere, but they're talking about the Bears might take him at freaking 9 if they don't get their guy. They don't get Marvin Harrison at 3 or whatever. So
yeah, I've heard him or Neighbors, depending.
I don't want Malik Neighbors.
And I think if the Dolphins were drafting another receiver, it'd kind of be we need the size, but like, hey man, you already got Tyreek and Waddle. Like, you kind of
Yeah,
need.
what they need is Laramie Tunsil back.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they need Laramie Tunsil.
That was the greatest trade of all time, though. I mean, goodness,
yeah.
the amount of players that's turned into us for us has been.
Oh yeah, it's been unbelievable. I'm just that position specifically though has been a sore spot.
Yeah, like Terran Armstead is okay, but he plays like 50%
fine.
He gets paid a ton. You know, like just frustrating to watch.
Frustrating.
Our offensive line was banged up, but it is, man. It's just like because you see, like it's kind of like the Fields thing. You see some games where like it just lights it up, and then the biggest game of the year, we play the Titans, right? I live in Tennessee. I got to listen to this crap.
They're up 14. Man, I felt for you.
And they were up 14 with 3 minutes left, and the wheels fell off. So then you lose that game, and then you beat Dallas. Okay, good win there. And then you lose. You get stomped by Baltimore. And it's like, all right, well, now you have to beat Buffalo to get home field advantage. Bad thing is you're going to have to play Buffalo again next week at home. So it's like, well, if you would have won the Titans game, wouldn't have even mattered. You know, you can get stomped out. Instead, you go to Kansas City, everyone gets hurt, out of the playoffs. It's like, God, man, just so I definitely need to add some height out there and some offensive line. They just need some depth. I mean, it's all the good teams usually have good depth. You know what I mean?
Well, they need to because I'm tired of watching Kansas City freaking Chiefs this deep in the playoffs.
Well, I mean, beginning of the year, we're talking about all these AFC quarterbacks. We're talking about all these AFC quarterbacks, how stacked the AFC is. Now they all get hurt.
Yeah, all gone. Goodbye.
Well, now, okay, I guess Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL, and now he has no one in his way. You know, Lamar. I mean, I don't know what happened there, but
he had his worst game of the year at the worst time.
And that was another thing. Someone was like, "Hey, look what Mahomes has done on the road. It's the best run ever." He went to went to Buffalo, went to Baltimore. I was like, yeah, but we're talking about Tom Brady. I mean, again, back to the Tom Brady thing. Like, remember, he went to New Orleans and beat Drew Brees, went to Green Bay and beat Aaron Rodgers, and then beat Mahomes, gasp, in the Super Bowl, right? Like, you're talking about a run. And he was
that's a
65 years old.
You know? That's a Dirk run.
Yeah, he might be 65. Dirk, yeah.
Dude,
good old Dirk.
Went through Timmy and Manu and Tony, went through Colby, went through the Heat.
I mean,
Kobe,
it's
by the way.
Very, he got his little, he got a statue.
It's Mama Day today.
It is
Mama Day.
Well, what should we say? What are we doing here? I just had a stroke, I think. Gas or pass?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Colby, what do you gas or pass? If you are familiar, gassing, you know what gas is, and then passing, you know what pass is. What do you gas?
That was really insightful.
He knows what's going on. He knows what's going on.
Figure it out.
You talk good.
You talk good. You listen good.
I'm going to. What am I going to? I'm going to gas. I don't know.
I got mine if you want me to go.
Go ahead, dude. I'm
going to gas this little thing here. This is a Vicks Vapo inhaler stick.
Dude.
No, shut up. This thing in the lovely Midwest, winter, spring, whatever the hell we're going through right now, with dry air, this thing has saved my life. Like, just put it up the old nose. Well, take the cap off first. Put up the old nose hole. Inhale, get a little bit of Vicks in there. Oh, it's great. Opens up the airways. No, all seriousness, if you don't have one of these, go get one because you will breathe better.
Okay, I'm gonna gas caffeine because I've had caffeine twice this week.
That's why you stroked out.
And I miss it. I miss it quite a bit. Shout out to Ghost.
Did you have a Ghost?
I did have a Ghost, and it was a cherry lime Ghost. Those are the best. So Linden and Ghost in this episode, man, we're just racking up the views for those guys.
I'm gonna put a picture of Linden as the thumbnail.
Oh my God, that would be hilarious! Don't tell him about it. Don't tell him about it at all.
I'm not gonna tell him.
I haven't talked to that guy. Hasn't seen a single word to me since 2019. I don't know, but Colby, what do you gas and what do you pass or
do you pass gas?
What are you guys passing gas with?
So cheeks.
So
Quentin's about to leave. I'm out.
I might. No, so like gas is like, I'm going to pick something small, little, whatever that I enjoy throughout this week that kind of helped me. And then passes like, I don't want this again. I don't want to see this again. I would rather not. I would leave that behind. I would not come back to it type of deal. We try to stay positive.
You already said caffeine on the gas. I love me some caffeine, man.
Dude,
teaching classes at 5 a.m. and then going to practice that night at 7:30 till 9:30.
Yeah.
Shout out gas caffeine.
Okay, double on the caffeine.
Yeah, I support that.
I was trying to think of something else. I'd like to gas the meal prep company that I use.
Go ahead. Give them a plug.
Hardfuelmeals.com. Hard Fuel Meals. Shout out Hard Fuel Meals. I get my food from them. They got custom orders, so I can get as much chicken and rice or red potatoes or sweet potatoes that I need. And they deliver them to my studio, F45 in Gallatin. And shout out F45 in Gallatin. And I pick them up at my convenience on Monday morning at 5 a.m. And I got everything I need for the week.
Colby's a man of routine, that's for certain. And I do want to, I'll just lead in the last segment. What keeps me sane is you guys. I appreciate you guys. Also, shout out to the Hendersonville/Gallatin people. I miss you guys. I haven't been there in a long time. Dude, can you quit? I'm trying to talk. And anyway, so that's what keeps me sane. Colby, what keeps you sane? To play on words. And this is like a nice one. This is like a big overarching one. And that's why I said you guys.
Man, it keeps me sane. Is this like what keeps me sane, like day to day, week to week, month to month?
Yep.
I mean, you kind of hit on it. My routine in my family keeps me sane. I mean, honestly, like if I have everything lined up, everything's in order. I don't have to think about what I'm eating. I don't have to think about what I'm wearing, stuff like that. And then my wife and son obviously keep me sane because I have to have someone to vent to every day, you know, or complain to, or keep me grounded. You know, I'll show her a video of me doing some flips. Look at this. Isn't this dope? I mean, it's okay. I need to hear that. Thank you. You know what I mean? Keeps me sane.
Dude, you can do that.
You know what I mean?
You can do that to me. You can hit me up with stuff like that.
Throw those in the group chat. We'll give you the
right. Andy, what keeps you sane, dude?
Well, I was gonna be funny and say Young King Dave, but I won't do that. Guy's a legend.
Sidewalk Talk NYC for a while.
Dude. When that came out, I lost my mind. I still do. Bing bong.
I think we all did.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
What keeps me sane? Shit, I did. I had a couple, but I think I already used them. I'm gonna say,
So that's a really good answer. I thought you were prepared for this. I'm the one that's on the spot here, and
normally I am, but I you know what? Okay. What keeps me sane is this show, because honestly, it gives me a chance to act unhinged for an hour a week, and I don't get to do that a lot in public. So yeah, I'm gonna say the show because I can just kind of try to make Q uncomfortable. That's my goal, is actually to make him so uncomfortable that he walks out at some point. I don't know what it's gonna take to do it.
Dude, take down your Christmas stockings for the love of God.
Bro, that's the first thing I said when I got on. So what have you been up to? Stockings still up, huh?
These are the kids. They want them up. They stay up.
Shade. That's shade, too. That's a little bit of hate. I love that. It's like, stockings still up. Do you vacuum your house? That's basically what he's saying.
The kids want them up. They stay up.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, hard argue.
I'm done recording.
That, you know? Get it?
That's true.
No, and what keeps me sane is my quest to make Quentin so uncomfortable that eventually he just walks off camera for 2 minutes and then comes back and says he hates me.
Well,
it'll happen.
Getting close. Hey, 5-star rating. Follow Colby. Colby's thing's going to be at the. Oh, sorry.
If I showed up dressed like Colby in one episode, would that make you uncomfortable?
No, why would that make me uncomfortable?
Like in just spandex, like a Speedo.
Oh yeah, probably.
I was about to say, I don't know. Okay. Like looking at our pictures side by side, I don't know it'd be that big of a difference on here.
Yeah, you guys have hats on.
Yeah. No. No, the code wrestler. Sorry, not Colby as he presents himself now.
Oh, the code. That's okay.
Yeah, Colby.
More so. Miles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Weird.
Shout out Myles Garrett. He's an alien. But yeah, in all seriousness, this many stars. Give one of these. Go follow that guy. I will link all his stuff in the description of this episode. If you are a fan of professional wrestling, go show him support. If you're in the state of Tennessee where there are shows, go there. I won't buy you a ticket, but you should go anyway. If you have the feeling like you're not strong and you're not good looking enough, go to getrawnutrition.com. Get your supplements, protein, pre-workout. We've been gassing caffeine. Go get some of these. Not sponsored by Ghost right now. Hopefully I will be. I'm not going to say what I was going to say because, Q's already uncomfortable. But let's just make it happen, shall we?
There it is.
Anyway, thanks for listening, tuning in.
Wow, you.
Horns down.
Deuces. Wow.
And catch you all next week.
This episode doesn't make any sense.